Hey there, it's Rachel Mullins, the host of hashtag No Filter Fridays on Public House Media.
Hey, it's Lena Yvette, and you're listening to Stories from Planet Earth. This February, we have a theme: Love the Earth. So, for the next few weeks, we're going to be talking to people who are really passionate about the planet and environmentalism. I hope you enjoy. All right, so we are here with Sarah today. Hello.
Hi there.
Why don't we just start off getting to know you a little bit? Just tell us about you.
All right. Well, I'm 28 years old. I am from Colorado Springs, and I have a very big passion for food. I think food can help change the way we see this world and the way we interact with it. So I am a plant-based chef and an activist.
Awesome. That's really cool. So you are probably one of the most passionate people I know about the environment. I thought you'd be perfect for my Love the Earth themed month. When did you first start getting into environmentalism and sustainability?
Thank goodness my family has made me have a connection to this earth since I was young. I grew up going to the mountains all the time, and I was instilled in me that a natural-based medicine was best. And I didn't really fully understand it until I went to culinary school and really got connected to my food. We did a lot of growing our own food, and I helped start a lot of that with like our aquaponics system and our edible garden that we could use in the classroom.
So when you were young, your family was pretty sustainable.
I wouldn't necessarily say sustainable. No, I've definitely grown much more than just what my family does. But thank goodness my family is very open to the ideas that I bring.
So they planted the seed essentially in you.
They definitely
ran with it.
Yes, they definitely planted it, and I definitely just took off with it into my far-stretching kind of extreme ways.
So do you think growing up with parents that were mindful of the environment and sort of that foundation is what drives your passion for being sustainable, or did it come later on?
I think it definitely put the seed in because they weren't, environmental activists by any means. We didn't consider plastic or really, we're just recycled cans, but not in like big terms. So it planted the seed, yes. And through my education in college, the connection to food really instilled it in me.
Okay. Where did you go to college?
I just went to Pikes Peak Community College.
Okay. And what courses do you think really kind of lit that fire and made you go the extra mile?
Definitely our sustainability classes. I have a degree in sustainability management and dietary cuisine. And so those classes really connected me to how we can live sustainably, how we can, I guess not maybe how we can live, but how we can grow our food sustainably. And I guess I'm one not to just think on the surface level, because food is a big impact, but we have to take it the next step further.
Right. Everything's so interconnected. It's like that's one facet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
While if you change your relationship to food, it can have such a dramatic effect. It's everything that goes into it, all the resources,
right?
Everything it takes to make this food and to transport it. And I think we tend to forget to look at the big picture as as a whole, as society.
Right. And so that's something that you're passionate about, is educating people on it's not just one thing that we need to change about society to become more sustainable. It's a multitude of things.
Yes, most definitely. And as hard as it's going to be, we definitely have to change our way of life. The way we live isn't sustainable. It does not condone life on this planet, as hopefully a lot of you can see. There's a lot of things going on around this whole planet that is proof that things are changing, and we have to change our ways to make it not get worse.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you do on a daily basis to love the planet more? What are the things that you incorporate into your life to assure that you're doing your little part to create a better Earth?
I would like to consider a lot. I think one of the biggest things I do is to talk about it to everyone I know and to everyone I meet, because if we're not connected to this earth, then we're not going to see the full picture of it all. So talking to people, I try to be as sustainable and reusable friendly as I can. I have reusable razor. I use bar soap. I eat whole foods, plant-based. And I think that's a huge, huge impact. While a lot of people think that, it's just one person and the way they choose to eat, it really has an effect. What we demand, they supply. And
yeah, you got to vote with your dollars, right?
Yes, that is the most important thing, is to vote with your dollar. We need to bring that money back into our community, help grow each other. If we realize that we're in this together, then we can have a healthy planet, because that's how the planet works. Symbiosis is natural. That's how it all works. Everything is supposed to help each other in this cycle of life, and humans have kind of forgotten that.
Yeah, and I think a common argument is that, one person isn't going to matter. Like, we need to put the onus of responsibility on big corporations to solve it. What are your thoughts on that? What would you say to a person that kind of just pushes it off as something that they don't have a true part in?
Well, I think that's silly, because we all do play a part. We are all part of this planet, and everything we do has an effect. Every last little thing. And if we wait for the corporations to do what's right for us, well, I think we're kind of out of time for that. Corporations are kind of what has put us into this situation. And if we want to get out of it, we need to, think for ourselves, do our own research, and vote with our dollar, because corporations aren't doing it for us. So we have to remember that there's power in numbers, and there's a lot of us. And if we just make that conscious choice, then we definitely can influence the world around us.
Yeah, I totally agree, because just look at the last, just the 2000s, right? We've had this insurgence of people gaining knowledge around this, and big corporations are changing because people are changing, right? Like this whole save the turtles straw thing. Who doesn't have a metal straw now, And that is because of people. That's not something that corporations did. It was very grassroots.
Yes.
And I think it is so important that people know that, that we do have a very significant role to play.
Yes. It's easy to forget, but once you remember that and kind of help your friends and your family remember that, that's when we can make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So for somebody just starting out,
dipping their toes into the world of sustainability, what advice do you have for them? Where should they start? Because it's such a monstrous task. We live in such a disposable society. It's just ingrained in us at this point. So how does somebody who is just beginning tackle changing their life into a more sustainable one?
You know, it's a lot. And we do need drastic change right now, but everyone can only do what they can do. Mm-hmm. So it's about taking it really at your own pace and what you can do, and remembering that, because if you go out thinking that you're going to do it perfectly right away, you are completely wrong. And even as long as I've been passionate about this earth and being sustainable and trying to help heal it, I still have my days. I still mess up. Yeah. And it's about remembering that that's okay. But other than that, I would say start shopping locally as you can. Find your local farmers, get to know them, because they're really good people. And they put all the love they can into their food. And if they do that, you're getting nutrition. You just know it. And it's anything that's grown closer to you is going to have more nutritious value. Buy reusable things. Stop using anything that's one-time use. That's not helping anyone, because usually it's plastic, and plastic doesn't degrade very well. Just be conscious. Take the steps that you can, one little baby step at a time.
Yeah, I really liked that you mentioned just giving yourself a little bit of grace while you're figuring it out, because I feel like a lot of those big sustainability gurus, like on Instagram, they make it look like they have every single thing in order, and they're living the only sustainably, and they kind of put on this facade, right?
Like they just figured it out overnight.
Right. Yeah. So I feel like it's almost a little irresponsible not to be real about it and say, yes, this is hard. This isn't something that I achieved right away.
It's very difficult, especially in the society that we've built up. Mm-hmm. It's all around us. It's all we're surrounded by. So it's taking those conscious steps. But yes, remembering that it's hard and it's going to take time.
Yeah, and giving yourself a little bit of forgiveness whenever you slip up, or knowing that this society isn't built for you to be sustainable quite yet. It's still very, very much ingrained in us that things are disposable, and it's difficult. I know, like, even just trying to get my family to be a little bit more sustainable, that's been really tough. I just recently got them to recycle.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, but it's just like the everyday person, it's harder to incorporate it into your life. It is not as accessible, especially if you're lower income. Mm-hmm. And it's just a monstrous task. So just knowing that if you're trying and if you're doing your little part, good.
Yes. Yeah, we're all just human, and we make mistakes, and it's just a big learning curve.
Yeah. Have you seen that quote? And it's something like, we don't need a handful of people doing zero waste perfectly. We need millions of people doing zero waste imperfectly.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that.
As long as you're trying, if you're doing something, that's more than nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the more that you become aware, you can't help but have that trickle into all aspects of your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. So I'm sure you're no stranger to just how bleak the news surrounding just the state of our world can be, especially with sustainability. It feels like it's constantly bad news, right? What do you do to kind of keep hope and not let it bog you down too much?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it does get the best of me. Mm-hmm. sometimes I get really depressed. And I spent a lot of my time last year that way because just really considering everything that goes into all of this. I love our planet. I love our home. And as a species, we're kind of destroying it. Yeah. At ridiculous rates. And so, you know, it can be hard. Sometimes I cry about it. But I guess the thing that always gets me back to it is action. Being active in my community has been such a wonderful, empowering experience. Not just because you can start to spread that knowledge to people, but because you are around people that think the same way and are fighting for this earth just as hard as you. Yeah. So finding people that care, but you know, sometimes can be hard depending on where you are. But reaching out, talking about it, because as many people as you're going to get to think you're crazy, you're going to find those people that completely agree with you and have been waiting to talk to someone else about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think finding that community and just knowing that you're not alone in it all, that's so helpful because it is bleak and it is a lot whenever just the burden of responsibility, like the burden of knowledge can be so heavy.
Yes. It's a daunting task. But, you know, I hate that phrase, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
it's as much as I understand it, it's not, because you have to know what's going on. And if you're not helping fix a problem, you're just a part of the problem.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to be. I mean, as much as I don't want to be a part of the problem, I am a part of the problem.
Yeah, exactly. We all are. We're all on this flying space rock together. Nothing we can do about it right now.
No, but it's coming together that we can help fix our ways into making this planet a little more nature rich, like it should be.
Yes, absolutely. It gives me a lot of hope talking with people like you because it's just, I don't know, like I haven't always been around very sustainable people. I've always been the friend that's like, recycle, turn off your lights, you know?
Thank you
people
for that.
Like, oh my God, Selena, leave me alone about it. So it's so refreshing to talk to people that are also concerned about it and doing their part in it. It gives me a lot of hope, you know?
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah. So you mentioned activism. Can you talk a little bit more about that? What do you do within environmental activism?
Yeah, totally. I really got especially active in the community when they were putting in the pipeline in South Dakota. Yeah. I met a lot of wonderful activists then and have grown my relationship with them in, you know, whether it's getting together and talking about these issues or going out and doing something about it. I've definitely found a nice, wonderful community that I can interact with and help spread the word. So, you know, as much as activism is protests, it is also that hard, boring work and figuring out what can we lobby for at the state capitol? What new laws can we put into effect that are actually going to change this world? Because there's so much destruction allowed to this planet, and we need to hold those people accountable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a lot of work into, you know, reaching out to people, reaching out to our office holders, there's a lot that goes into it. It's the fun work and it's the not fun work.
Yeah. It's definitely layered, right?
Yes. There's always that like paperwork and
Right.
the stuff behind the scenes
Yeah.
that really is important if you don't have that community together to be dedicated to setting up those events.
Mm-hmm.
They're not possible. So, I guess really educating myself, educating others, and helping change perspectives and laws.
Yeah. So have you been a part of organizing an event from start to finish?
Maybe not, I guess, full head on. I've definitely been a part of a lot of projects, and I have quite a few of my own projects going on right now.
Really?
Yeah. I'm starting little like get-togethers within the community, just so we can get together and talk about these issues in our world, in the community, what we can, how we can educate ourselves, and just the little things and the big things that we can do individually and together. And that's a pretty big task because nobody wants to start.
Yeah, it's
those
hard
things.
being the initiator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of moving parts too with any sort of organized meeting. It's just difficult. I haven't ever organized any sort of anything like that, but I did do a clothing swap a while back ago. And even that, it was just the smallest. I thought it would be so easy just to put it together, but there were so many moving parts. So I could only imagine with something like a reoccurring meeting or a group, that can be really difficult to manage.
Yeah, it's really just, finding the ideas and the topics you want to focus on, giving the direction, because I think that's just what a lot of people are kind of missing.
Yeah.
In the society that we've built, we're very governed by electronics, and we've kind of disconnected from the real world around us.
Yeah, the interconnectedness of just human interaction. It's kind of starting to become more of a commodity, I feel.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And it's, it's always easier to be told what to think or what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to initiate your own thought process. Do your own research. Like, how can we make this a better world for you personally?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because
I like
if
that.
it makes it better for you personally, it's probably going to do a lot for the world. We just have to think about every avenue, all the resources, all the aspects that go into it. What we do is going to have an effect. And we have to think about that because it affects us and our future and this planet.
Yeah. What's next? Such a professional podcaster, am I right? Yeah, I think it's really interesting where we're at, kind of trying to think sustainably and create this action within our own community, because we live in Colorado Springs, and those who don't live in Colorado might be like, oh, Colorado, that's like a super environmentally friendly place, but Colorado Springs is a little bit behind on that, wouldn't you say?
Yes, most definitely behind. We have some better parts of Colorado, but unfortunately it's not the majority of Colorado.
Yeah, there's a misconception that we're one of, the more sustainable states. And I think, in Denver, in Fort Collins, they're pretty with it. They're getting their act together. But parts like Colorado Springs, we're still figuring it out, mobilizing.
Yes, but thank goodness, there are those of us that do care. like living conscious, you know?
Yeah. There's this wonderful little shop, Conscious Living, that opened up. And it's a bulk sustainability shop. So they have refillable like dish soap, laundry soap, shampoo, conditioner, lotion, like basically anything you'd need in the vein of personal products and like household products. And it's awesome.
Yes, all environmentally friendly, and the owner is amazing.
Yeah, she's such a sweet lady. I want to have her on the pod.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah, it's really cool seeing it kind of bleed into the city, because whenever I grew up in Colorado Springs too, there was not the faintest of whispers of sustainability. It was almost like it didn't exist in the city. It didn't really.
No.
And now it's just like really starting to kind of form a little kind of like enclave. I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely a community growing. Thank goodness this movement is growing, and worldwide. Like, it's great to see. We just need to keep pushing.
Yeah, definitely. I have a lot of hope that, you know, more and more people are waking up to it. And yeah, of course, there's always going to be those people that deny that climate change exists. They deny that their actions have impact. But I think those voices may be loud, but they're starting to die out, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like, more people are starting to get hip with it. It's just...
Yeah, for sure. The more we talk about it, the more that knowledge spreads. But I think a huge thing happening right now is, you know, climate activist groups are being put on the terrorist group lists. Let's see, Extinction Rebellion, and I don't think it's Sunrise, but one of the other movements has been put. Oh, Greenpeace.
No way.
Greenpeace and Extinction Rebellion have been put on the terrorist list. You know, so ranking the same as Nazis. And
that's insane.
I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Because to say that we're being extreme when we just want to save life on this earth, all life, and you know, the people calling us extreme are the people that are killing all life. I think if we took a step back, it's kind of clear to see who is the one being extreme.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just such a weird, contentious time, but I don't know. I think people are starting to act more, and I think maybe the internet kind of plays a small part in that, because we have far more access to knowledge and like online communities. Because like I said, like I didn't know very many people that were the most sustainable, but having those online communities was really helpful. And it just gives me hope. Like, yeah, there's a bunch of people in this current administration who just don't have our best interest in mind right now. But we, as a people, that is what we're fighting for. And it gives me a lot of hope to see so many people backing this movement.
Yes. As much as the internet, social media disconnects us from reality, it's also a great tool. It has connected us to see that this isn't just, you know, some crazy little hippies protesting for the earth. Like, this is a worldwide movement. Yeah. And it's affecting people all over this world. So I think it's been a great platform for us to, you know, see that other people care and other people are doing something, and it makes it easier for a lot of people to get behind something versus, you know, being that first person out there, because it's scary to be that first person to make that big of a shift in consciousness, because that's what it is. It's shifting the entire way you think and the entire way you live, and you start to wake up a little bit, but it can help everyone else around you.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you think we need to do to get more people involved in this movement?
Educating people. Because we live in a world of misinformation. It's really easy to be told something and to believe it.
Yeah.
We need to start doing our own research and showing people, getting them connected to nature.
Yeah.
If they don't have a connection to it, they don't understand why it's so important. And, you know, I was lucky enough to grow up going and spending my time in nature all the time. You know, growing something of your own, that's a huge thing. Grow just, you know, some herbs, just some rosemary or whatever, and cook with it and see how delicious it tastes. And watching it grow from seed to plant to cooking with it is so powerful.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to help open up the eyes of some people, get a little bit more connected to nature, because it's all baby steps.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. I think that is an extremely good point, because a lot of people, we see ourselves as maybe not a part of nature. We're disconnected from it. But no matter how hard we try to believe that, we are nature. You know? We've kind of distanced ourselves from our roots, and our roots lie in nature. So
Yeah, definitely. We're just all made of the same elements.
yeah.
And that's the crazy thing, that we are made of the same elements. This is home. This is where life is sustainable for us. Because just in correlation to the sun, we should be a cold planet. But it's our atmosphere that keeps us protected and shielded. Like, just a couple kilometers below, we're too hot. Just a kilometers above, the air's too thin to breathe.
Yeah.
We have a very unique, beautiful, magical place to call home.
Yeah.
And we need to
Definitely.
start taking better care of her.
Yes, I totally agree. It's when you really sit down and think about it, it's incredible that we even exist. Like, the likelihood of that is insane, and it's just such a gift that we get to live on this beautiful planet. And I just really hope that more people get to experience that connection, because it's like we are one and the same with this beautiful planet and all that it provides us with.
It provides us with everything we need.
Yeah.
It's quite the experience waking up to that.
Yeah.
It's really powerful.
It is. It definitely is. So my hope is that just more and more people start to realize that, or maybe just even realize that we can't live, like, we don't have the technology to leave this planet, people. Like, there is no planet B, as many protest signs say.
Yes. No.
Yeah. So it's like, regardless if we have the connection or not, it's important. It's, you know, we need to be conscious of it.
Yeah, I think it's unreasonable to think that we can destroy this planet that we're on and go somewhere else to just do the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah. We just become the horrible aliens in every Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
Going from planet to planet, stealing resources.
Yep. Yeah, no, we gotta change our ways and start thinking about what we do, about the effects that it has.
I think even if the planet is completely fine, which it's not, and climate change isn't real, which it is real, like, I don't understand why people wouldn't want to be sustainable anyways, you know? Like, I don't understand that, because it's like, even if it's not an emergency, like, why wouldn't we want to be cleaner, like, have clean energy and just not pollute the planet. It doesn't click with me.
I completely agree. I mean, you know, all these climate deniers, and they get so angry and, you know, say that we're wrong.
Yeah.
When, you know, it's 97% of climate scientists say this is real. And I'm sorry, but scientists are pretty intelligent people.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to listen to them for a reason.
Right. Yeah.
But
It's okay. I don't even know if I'll include this part because I didn't form my sentence very well, but
what was your sentence again?
basically just even if climate change wasn't real and we weren't in a state of emergency, like, why wouldn't we still just want to be sustainable so that we can have a less polluted planet?
Right. Why wouldn't we just want to be less polluted? Well, I would say a lot of that has to do with lobbying. That misinformation. They've got people so convinced that this stuff is fake and that, you know, it doesn't do any damage. I mean, in Australia, there's this little, like, coal guy that, you know, talks about how safe burning fossil fuels is.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so, you know, it's
Like a mascot?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's really hard to get away from this stuff because obviously these people literally are making millions of dollars every single day.
Yeah.
So they have money to spend on anything to build their company up more.
Yeah, they're literal supervillains. It's insane to think about.
It's like, okay, so recently I watched Monsters, Inc. for the first time as an adult.
Yeah.
And it was almost kind of hard to watch because I am so aware and I can't help but connect everything back to the environment, you know, climate, social justice. And it's so true. All they talk about in this movie is, you know, they say, we're monsters. And that's the slogan for the energy producing company.
Yeah.
They're monsters. Like, they are genuinely monsters destroying our planet. And it's just sad that they almost make fun of it while entertaining children.
Yeah.
Because clearly they understand and think that, I mean, unfortunately, so most of us are so disconnected, we can't even see that connection.
Right.
But no, I don't see why we wouldn't want a cleaner earth either, because what's the worst that's going to happen by cleaning up our act?
Yeah.
We're going to have breathable air, less...
Oh, what a crisis that would be.
less health effects, like, or health issues, you know, drinkable water, nutritious food. We have to think about that. Like, there's a reason that our society has been built the way it is. And we have to take back that power and build a world that we want to live in.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I really appreciate you taking some time to just sit down and chat with me about this. Oh, before I close out, this is called Stories from Planet Earth, right? I would love to just hear a great story, just an interesting thing that has happened to you on your journey to sustainability, whether it was at a rally or organizing or just becoming more sustainable.
Okay, well, being active has been a great way to connect me to this planet. When I was active in the community during Standing Rock, it helped my connections to this planet, to our country, and to my family. When I first started, you know, it was just me saying what I believed, trying to tell people what's going on. And not only did I meet a lot of amazing people in the community, I got my little sister, who was in high school at the time, to come out and protest with me, which got my parents interested, and they came out and protested.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, every little action you take, whether it's just, the smallest thing to the biggest thing, your influence matters. You can affect everyone around you, which affects everyone around them. And it's just this wonderful, amazing domino effect. Mm-hmm. If you take it with the right perspective and action.
Yeah, I love that. It's such a ripple effect. And I think that goes with any sort of positive change. Just being a kind, positive, passionate human being, you're going to naturally just instill that in the people around you, I think, or plant seeds every day,
It's definitely contagious.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, I think it's really powerful to know that, you have a far greater impact than you may think.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we tend to think we are so little and so insignificant. And we are very little. But that's the beautiful thing about this planet, is that every little thing affects everything else. So we just got to do it mindfully.
Yeah, beautifully said. Well, thank you so much for just taking some time to sit down and chat with me about this. Do you have anything else you'd like to add? Anything you'd like to shout out?
Yeah, there's a couple of things I'd love to shout out. First of all, thank you for having me.
Yes.
But yeah, if you care about this earth, look into some organizations like 350.org. They're a global grassroots organization trying to move us to a more sustainable future. They're fabulous. Also, listen to Indigenous wisdom. That is something that is so important and that will help us heal this planet. So the Red New Deal. The Red New Deal is Indigenous wisdom, or the Indigenous response to the Green New Deal. And that's really fantastic, even more in depth into working with this planet. And I'd like to shoot out Roots Apothecary. That's an amazing place that I work at. We're just looking to help heal people through nature, which is everything I'm passionate about. So check us out. We ship online everywhere, and just get into doing your own research, educate yourself, and be more conscious of the world around you and what it takes to live the way we do.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.